Hello again, Chris Lee and Chase Robinson of Southeastern 16 here to preview Texas's road trip to Texas A&M. You can catch this 6:30 Central on ABC. Bet Online favors Texas by 6 with an over-under of 48, making for an implied final score of Texas 27, A&M 21. My model, which is a computer composite of several mainstream rankings, favors Texas by 8. The Longhorns got a fairly uneventful win over Kentucky, with the exception of Quinn Ewers' health, which looks better now, according to reports from Orange Bloods, than it did, say, watching the game Saturday. Meanwhile, I don't even know what to say about A&M and what happened at Auburn. Coming from behind and then losing it in 4 overtimes. Mike Elko had a questionable timeout in there. But guess what? This one going to be in College Station, where they will be ready for the Longhorns. Cannot wait to see this one on Saturday night, Chase Robinson.
Look, we've been looking forward to this one. We knew that this would be a renewed rivalry once Texas came to the SEC, and with all that's on the line in this game, it's just I'm so glad this is an SEC rivalry game now, and as if we weren't already looking forward to it, knowing what's at stake, I think makes it even more exciting.
Yeah, both teams with everything in the world to play for, postseason implications still on the line. Let's give you the matchup, starting with Texas's offense against A&M's defense. The numbers, starting with Texas, 36.5 points a game on an average of 70 snaps. Texas turns it over very little, just 8 interceptions on the year between Ewers and Manning. And again, Ewers looks like he's going to be the guy coming out of the Kentucky game. He was hobbled a bit. You could see him visibly limping, but they've got Arch Manning in tow just in case. The Longhorns averaging 5.3 yards with their multifaceted rushing attack and 7 yards per pass play. Sacks come off rushing yardage and go on to passing yardage in this way of doing it. Texas gives up sacks just 5.3% of the time. A&M's defense, the numbers, 21.6 points on 66 snaps a game, a 2.1% turnover rate. Aggies give up rushing 4.6 per play, 6.2 per passing play, a 6% sack rate, 5.4 yards per snap against A&M. What stands out to you in the matchup here, Chase?
Well, I mean, obviously Texas has been putting up big numbers this year offensively, and I think it's good to have Quinn Ewers. You want to be at full strength in a game like this, and so I know Texas offensively. Look, I thought they've been running the ball good lately, and I thought they did so against Kentucky on Saturday, and so I think Texas is coming in a good spot. And so, hey, I like the matchup. Texas A&M has given up some big plays, and I think that could be a disadvantage for Texas A&M defense. They're going to have to really lock it down and not allow big plays to be made, because Texas can be a big play team. And so I think that's something to watch if Texas A&M can limit some of these big plays that Texas is going to try to do.
Yeah, A&M's got such a talented defense, but the pass rush has not really gotten home, I think, as much as we would have thought. They, of course, have got Kelvin Banks on that left side protecting. Just a very super interesting matchup. And Texas got so many weapons. Gunnar Helm is kind of the guy that stands out to me because he's such a big target and so good in the red zone. Very interested to see how it resolves on that side. Before we flip sides of the matchup, reminder, BetOnline is your world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, BetOnline provides you with all the action and the ability to watch the games as they happen, with the largest selection of odds on everything from football, NBA, college basketball, NHL to UFC and MMA. Head to BetOnline today. Get in on all the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. BetOnline, the game starts here. All right, Marcel Reed and company put up really good offensive numbers in a trip to Auburn. Reed, of course, a big running threat. The Aggies have got a good running game. But boy, does Texas ever have a defense. And I'm going to give you the numbers on both sides here. A&M's offense averaging 32.5 points a game on 69 snaps, 5.4 yards per rushing play. That's one of the better numbers in the league. 6.9 per passing play. Sack rate allowed of just 6.3%. The numbers for Texas's defense, and these are some of the best in the country. 12.1 yards given up, a 3.5% turnover rate. That's elite. 4.0 yards flat on rushing plays. Passing defense is incredible. 3.9 yards per passing attempt. Again, sacks come off rushing yardage and go against passing yardage. Sack rate of nearly 10%. Now, look, to be fair, Texas has played one of the easier schedules in the league, and I get that. That has maybe inflated the numbers a little bit, but they are so talented at every level. Now, you don't see a Marcel Reed every day either, so that makes it interesting, but I think this side of the matchup also very interesting, Chase.
I think so too. And look, Texas A&M has run the ball well all season long, and to have a guy like Marcel Reed, they ran it well without Marcel Reed, and it's just better with him in the game. He can do a lot, and he's got 1,400 yards passing, 12 touchdowns. He can run the ball. Moss has been great. And they've got so many guys who can run the football well. Texas defensively, though, and you mentioned it, they haven't played the toughest schedule, but they are a really good defensive team. And I think this is going to be important for them to stop the run, for them to really make A&M a one-dimensional team throwing the football. If Texas can do that, then it could be a good outcome for the Longhorns. But they really need to make A&M one-dimensional, and I think they can with this defense. They've been quick. They get to the ball. They hit you hard. I really like it. I've liked Texas defense from the start of the season.
Let's get to the picks and why. Chase, I'll start with you.
I went back and forth. I had a tough time figuring this one out because I could see scenarios with both teams winning. I'm going to take the Texas Longhorns. I think they go on the road. I think they get the win. I think they prove that, hey, we belong in this number 3 spot in the college football playoff, and I think the Texas Longhorns get it done in the renewal of this rivalry in College Station.
I do too. I just trust Texas's talent more. I mean, Quinn Ewers, when he's on, is about as good as anybody. When he's not on, or healthy or not healthy, whatever, they got Arch Manning. They got so many targets in the running game. They got 3 guys who can run it really well. Defensively, again, the stats suggest they may be the best defense in the country. A&M has lost a game on the big stage like this to Notre Dame in the opener. That was a long time ago. But just when I watch both these teams play, and again, am I a little bit worried that Texas's numbers have been propped up a little bit against teams maybe not at the level that some other teams in the league have played across the board in schedule? I'm not saying Texas hasn't played some good teams, but you start stacking up their schedule against Georgia and some other teams, and it comes up lacking a little bit. But still, you can only play what's in front of you. When we've seen the Longhorns, other than that one really bad half against Georgia, they just have looked like a national title contender.
Yep.
I'll take them despite that it's on the road. Would it shock me if it went the other way? No, it wouldn't. But I think Texas is the better team, favored for reason. I'm going to go there also. All right, when it's done, you can come give us a hard time if A&M wins or whatever. Gloat if you're a Texas fan, whatever. We don't care. We're just glad that you're here to join us. Hit the subscribe button. That's free. And enable your notifications so you know when we go live. We usually do go live 9:30 on Saturday nights to wrap up the day's action. Anyway, hope you will join us for that. For Chase Robinson, I'm Chris Lee. You've been watching Southeastern 16, presented by BetOnline.